the Speedle.
The Speedle!
Beetle. The Speedle.
It feels so good. It feels so good.
The Speedle.
Oh mama, gonna make my move. I'm all in. Got nothing to lose.
Back to ROTWHEELS, and welcome back to another episode of the Speedle. I know you guys have been dying to see what I've been doing on my car, and today is finally that day. So over the last 4 to 6 months that the car has been off the road, I have been doing so much maintenance and so much just finishing work to everything that I've either started and not finished, or that other people have started and not finished, and getting the car pretty much solid so that when I put this motor in, I won't have to touch it for a while. So over this couple of months, you'll get to see a compilation of everything, to the floor pans, to finishing the floor pans, to servicing my transmission, to unexpected expenses that I didn't really think I had, removing my windows, starting my trim, and also getting it ready for paint. So many exciting things. Keep watching to see what I did. Today I'm going to start working on undercoating the entire Speedle. I already have the motor out. I'm in the process of taking the transmission out, and I'm going to go ahead and finish the job that I started when I originally did the floor pans, and I'm going to undercoat the entire underside of the car, along with do a really good fresh paint coat on the fender wells as well before we go ahead and throw some clear on it. I am here under the Speedle, doing a little last minute checking on seeing what I want to do. I'm going to go ahead and cut off a couple things and finish cleaning up these floor pans before I go ahead and seam seal. I'm also going to get the transmission out right here. All of my mounts are clapped out and old, so I'm going to go ahead and replace those. And as you may or may not be able to see, my nose cone is leaking, so I'm going to go ahead and put a new seal on that as well. So when you're restoring a car or building a motor, or, you know, putting a car back together the way it should be, there are a lot of added expenses that you don't think about, and this is definitely one of them that I didn't want to factor in. So I ordered some fresh CV axles that are nice and beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure these are greased properly and throw some more grease in here. clean up the transmission, put a new ground strap on, hook these bad boys up so that I can say I'm done with all of the moving parts and I can focus solely on the motor finally. And replace the ground strap because this one is just filthy and gross and kind of starting to just fade away. So it was a nice thing to go ahead and upgrade that as well. I don't think it was the right ground strap because it was significantly longer than this, but it'll work. So now the fun part begins where I go ahead and clean up all this grease and replace it with new grease, and then I'll be able to put the CV axles right in. So as you probably can tell, I'm kind of struggling a little bit. This gasket is just so unbelievably dry rotted. Like, a gasket's not supposed to be like this. It's literally supposed to be rubber, as I'm sure many of you know. So this is really fun to cut out. But I went ahead and tried the windshield first because if I break it or I mess it up, I'm not going to cry about it because I have a replacement already for it. Because this one's pretty cracked. It's got a little bunch of nicks and it's got this big crack right here. It looked like someone was trying to fill or shot with a BB gun. I'm not really sure what happened, but anyway, so in preparation for clear coating this Beetle, I need to take all the windows out because I'm going to go ahead and take them out anyway and put all new gaskets in. So I said, why not? And I also have some metal work to do in the back, so it all kind of just made sense to do it. Plus my windshield, as you can maybe possibly see here, there's a wonderful gap where someone had poked out the top of this gasket. It literally got that dry rotted. And I filled it with some caulk last minute at a car show, and it held for a little bit and then it started leaking again. So that's when I was like, all right, bugs living inside until until I can fix this. So I have some downtime and I'm just gonna get all these windows out and then start on the metal work. So lots of fun stuff to do. It's just crazy how dry rotted that is. Alright. Oh, and I cracked it. Oh, not worried about it. Alright, well, as you can see, windshield's out. I did crack it, but oh well. Doesn't really matter to me because I bought a replacement, so again, no big deal. So yeah, this is a great step in the right direction though. I'm actually really happy this is out. I'm already excited to have a new windshield because I've been staring at that crack for what feels like forever now. So great step. Let's get to finishing the rest of the windows. Nice. Also, pieces out. So as you can tell, I have successfully taken out both of these side windows in preparation for fixing all of the rust and the metal work on these pillars here, right here. The inside looks pretty good, but the outside is pretty chewed up, mostly on that side and a little bit on this side. And I got some awesome panels to patch all of that, but to do that I had to take these windows out so that I could hide the seam in or under the window seal so that we can have a kind of a seamless look. And then also I just wanted to redo the window seals as well, since I was going to go ahead and do the front and rear windshield. So this is a really, really great step. So right now I'm in the process of removing the trim. It's actually really, really simple. Basically all you do is, I have a basic just trim putty knife wedge kind of thing. I would not do this with any sort of metal tool whatsoever, just because obviously you don't want to scratch your paint or damage your trim. I'm not really worried about the paint, but the trim is kind of what I'm worried about. So basically I'm just going to stick it in there and I'm just going to kind of twist it just a little bit. You don't have to do a lot of force to these because they do come off pretty easy. And I just follow along. You don't want to have too much leverage here, otherwise you'll kink your trim. Keep it as delicate as possible. And if you can't get a side or a piece, move on to a different one, and eventually it'll come off. And that's about it. Thank you for watching this episode of ROTWHEELS. Don't forget to subscribe to see more of what I do with the SPEEDLE along with our other projects. Also, don't forget to leave a like on this video.